to get started, I want to go through a brief thing what I'm going to cover here. I just want to let you guys know, thank you again for coming, and thank you guys for all the subscribers. And I really appreciate it. And a shout out to the Shamballa team, the testers, Sammy, Julian, and everybody for helping set this up. But I just want to go through everything we're going to cover today in the video, just so you guys know what's going on. For those who are new to Secret Sew, welcome, and welcome to the group, and welcome to Shamballa Bags. It's really, really fun. You guys are going to have a good time here. So I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown. We're going to go through the Secret Sew material and the timeline. And for those who are new, just go over how it's going to work, okay? And then from there, we're going to go over the hardware and some different fabric selections that you guys can use. And I hope that we have a great time in here. This is just the introduction video for the materials. Next week, we'll be back on here on the 14th to join me for our very first delivery so we can get started on our Secret Sew. Thank you guys for joining me. So generally, this is only my second Secret Sew, but the last one that we did, you had your event calendar that was going on, which for us was today is the material list, and that's going to give you a week to get all your materials in order. I have put together for the United States people a resource list with all the U.S. references, where I got my material, what I'll be using in the Secret Sew. You guys can download that in the link below, and that will give you reference for all of that. Sorry, you guys over in Europe and in Spain. So I'm going to go through this real quick in a fast rundown. For those who are new, this is the opening event. And then every 4 days after the 14th, we'll get a new delivery. So it starts on the 14th, the 18th, the 22nd, and May 26th. Those are the day that each delivery is delivered. And during that delivery, you're going to go to your Shamballa Bags website, to your downloads, and there's where you're going to find your Secret Sew stuff. Look at the right-hand corner there. That's where you're going to get into it, okay? So I'm going to show you some pictures and the bag that I did last year. This was the bag from last year's Secret Sew. That was my Starry Night. And so these are all the parts of the bag here. If you look up here in the corner, you'll see pictures, and each one of those segments was where we got the Secret Sew. So we put each of those together, and when we were all done, that's what it looked like. So that's how it will work. So then every time you're going to get new stuff, okay? So let me just run through this real quick. If you haven't already downloaded it from Shamballa Bags, go ahead and do that now. But this is the Loretta bag. It's the Shhhh Secret Sew Mystery. We're doing this together. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. This is just like any other one of Sammy's patterns. Be sure that you print it out at 100%. Don't increase or decrease because it will affect how your patterns print out. This bag finish, the Loretta, is going to end up being the final size here. It's going to be 8 7/8 high by 14 3/4 in the width. I'm sorry. It's going to be 8 7/8 high. So I get a little bit confused. 14 3/4 wide. And it's going to be of a depth of 4 3/8, okay? Here she gives you a little bit of general notes that she goes over. And most of Shamballa bag patterns are all 1/4 inch sewn, which is 6 millimeters. If there's any other seams in there, it will be indicated in the pattern so you can read along. When you're tracing your patterns out, make sure you're doing it from the right side because you don't want to avoid mirror cuts or anything like that. The notes in the pattern are here. Front, back, lining, stabilizer, and others. Okay? So that's all covered real well. Her materials for this section is going to be an exterior fabric A, B, C, and D. I'll give you a little hint because, I'm doing the same thing you guys are doing. I'm going to assume that my D fabric is going to be the main fabric. And the reason I'm telling you that is because here it says it's 39 3/8 by 51 1/8. If you don't have that fabric size, you can put two 18 inches together. You'll still get the material you need. But if you go back and look at C and B and A, they're smaller. That here, she says, printed fabrics are not recommended for A and D. These are Sammy's extra notes that she's adding into the video. These areas work best with solid or subtle textures as a help to balance the overall design and allow your main print to stand out beautifully. That's really setting you up for great success, okay? And then here's all the material. You're going to need 16 rivets, the belt buckle, the swivel, D-ring, etc. You're going to need to make sure you have a rivet setter to set those rivets. And then she goes through fabric selections. So here's texture, floral with a small She's recommending a small or medium print because they may not show up and it might end up going through it. Your D, which I said I think is going to be the main color, is going to where most of the fabric is. She definitely recommends a solid color there. And her lining fabric is her little cute flowers. And then I love this part. She added photos for all your base hardware. And I'll be right back and I'm going to show you guys some real quick hardware that I've chosen for my bag. And then we'll cover the fabrics that I've chosen for my bag. So my base hardware, I really love this little thing she gave for referencing for those visual learners and for myself because I really like to reference it. So you need a metal buckle. I have 2 different types here. I don't know which one I'm going to use on the Secret Sew because, yeah, we don't know what we're making or how it's going to turn out. These are both 3/4. Also, I have them in reference material for you guys. You have your swivel clasps and the 2 D-rings that go with it. You have your zipper ends. Now, I chose 3 different types of zipper pulls for my zippers. So I like to put this one on the outside, this one on the inside, and I like to put this one on the recessed zipper because it tucks in. Then we have 3 different sizes of zippers, which you can use your reference material to reference. That is 18.5, 12, and 9.5. Then we have our strap end which are optional. You have your traditional method of strap ends here. Then you have these really cute decorative ones like she has in the photo. I did put a link in there for my references and resources. And you just put it on the corner and pinch them down. That'll look like this. I don't have a logo badge, so I just put handmade on mine. And then an adjustable slider. Other materials that are not sitting on top of the table at the moment are going to be piping, your rivet setter, your glues, your thread. I suggest 3 bobbins. Your anvil to set it, or any punches to get everything set together the way they belong. So that covers the hardware part of it. Okay, so just to recap again, there is a resource list from me below, in the video link below. I'm sorry, you guys, it's USA reference listing. It's just a quick rundown of joining me today for the 7 Secret Sew that I appreciate you guys being here. And I just do want to give a shout out. Thank you guys again for that. It covers all the links below for all the material I'll be using. I did put Amazon in big lettering in case you guys need to have this stuff right away. You do not need to have all your stuff most likely for the first release, which is coming out on the 14th. We'll play it by ear because we don't know. It's a Secret Sew, so we just go as we go, you know. So those are all your materials. You have about a week to get it all in, so you guys should be okay with that. And everything that I'm using, the decorative strap ends, the strap sliders, again, all this stuff is in here. I talk about piping. One thing I do want to point out one more time with piping, if you're using a thicker material, then you want to go down. She suggests 3 millimeters for your piping. You're going to want to go down, as I instructed here, to a 2.5 or a 2 millimeter because otherwise your piping is going to be too much in your face. Then the glue and double stick tape that I'm using is Hyper Stick from Waywack. I use the 1/8 for my 1/4 inch, and I use the 1/4 inch for my 3/8 inch seams, which are all marked in the pattern material. I like to use rubber glue cement. I like to use Fabri-Tac. I sometimes use super glue, but with any of these glues, always test material to use with caution, and that's your marking pens as well, okay? In my resource material, I also gave you guys a double-sided rivet thing, so you can reference 6 millimeter, 7 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter, and 10. She wants us to use 9 millimeter for this pattern. And I buy mine in bulk from Gold Star Tools. I used to buy them at Tandy Leather, but Tandy Leather doesn't have the finish on them anymore like they used to, so Gold Star is my way to go for bulk buys. In here, I cover my stabilizers that I use most frequently. And so you have Geeky Fuse from Geeky Hardware, or Waywack, which is a Decoville, the SF101. Another alternative that you guys can use, which I'm going to give a shout out to Marley Selmeyer, is this Eva. I love this stuff. This is like actually my way to now go to, because if you forget to pre-press your fabrics before you put the Decoville light on, sometimes you can shrink your material. So try to, if you can remember, to pre-press all your fabrics before you start sewing them together. But I love this stuff. It's just so cool. You cut it out, you stick it on, and it holds really well, gives the bag really good structure. So thanks, Marley's. I appreciate it. I hope Jim's doing well. He just had surgery on his shoulder. So now we're going to go into the fabric section. And these are the fabrics that Sammy did choose. She has 2 of them that are textured, one that is a mid-sized or smaller floral. Her main fabric, again, I'm going to stress it one more time, is D. And then her lining fabrics are the small flowers. So we're going to cover the fabric part now. And then from there, we're going to go to the color wheel, okay? So these are the fabrics that I am choosing for the Secret Sew. I have them also in my reference list, exactly what they are. I have a pink ostrich, a pink soft faux leather, Bodie Hose braided faux leather, and Bodie Hose chocolate classic brown, which will probably be my D. If not, I'm going to go with the ostrich. We'll find out next week on Wednesday because, you know, shh, it's a Secret Sew. I really don't know any more than you guys do. For the interior, I'll be using the Rose Waterproof Canvas Interior. I really love this stuff. It gives really good structure to the bag. Okay, and so I just want to cover a couple more notes here from Sammy. What she's saying here is when you choose your prints with a medium or small scale, okay? Because she said the prints with very large motif or design with too much empty space around them, the elements may not show up as well, making it into a smaller pattern piece may distort it, or it'll be more evenly distributed prints usually work best, but it'll be much more visible in the finished bag, giving you more success for your overall appearance from your bag. She also stated that the pattern is not ideal for panel prints, okay? She says it's not recommended as the pattern pieces may be cut out of important parts of the design. So if you had a really gorgeous motif like this, and all of a sudden the bag went right through the middle of it, you wouldn't see it. So she's saying it's best to wait until the pattern pieces are all released and you can check it against any section to see if any key elements are cut off, and then you can sew it after that. She does really, really stress on A and D, that these 2 stay to be a solid color. Because she said these areas are best for solid or supple textures, you know, not like something in your face. And they'll help balance overall design, allow your main print to stand out more beautiful. And again, that's going to set you up for a better success for your fabrics, okay? So, I don't know yet. I haven't decided this is going to be A or D, but that is that pink ostrich. I think it's really, really pretty. And I picked this kind of like a satin silky pink to go with it. They blend really well together. And just because, you know, normally they say pick 2 or 3 things that are alike and 1 thing that's off. So there's my off one. It's kind of like a beige color. And then, again, I don't know if I'm going to put this as D or the ostrich. This is a really beautiful textured brown. And then my waterproof canvas. Now, I will add to this note here, you're not set in concrete at any given time for those materials. So you can choose what you want. You're not in a rush. These videos are always going to be up there. Your download material is always going to be in your download so you can work at your own pace, okay? So next we're going to go on to color theory and the color wheel. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to do some color wheel theory. I have the links for these and also the resource material from me. This is going to help you if you're stuck on deciding on colors between cool or warm, or reference to see if the colors actually complement each other or if it will not complement each other. I've used these color wheel theories since 1987. It's really my best companion, whether it be for mixed media art, doing hair color, sewing, whatever it is. If you have a hard time picking out fabrics to go together, I generally will use this resource tool, okay? So, color theory, there's only 2 ways to use color. Any design project, a contrast or harmony, contrast is based on a difference. Complementary colors such as red, green, have nothing to do and nothing in common. And the attention getting is contrast. Harmony is based on the likeliness of adjacent colors on the color wheel, such as red and red-orange, or orange is harmonious with the red. There's red in everything in all 4 of the colors, so likeliness results in pleasing harmony. And that's another thing that Sammy really stressed in her notes. She wants you guys to enjoy the process, but she wants to make sure that you're set up for success, that you're making your organized colors of 4 to go together in harmony, okay? So how a color wheel works is like this, okay? You could stay sedimentary, which is all the colors in one. So you can go from light green to dark green, which is sediment. They're all just one color. Then you have your 3 colors together, which are going to change from tints, okay? Your reds and stuff are normally going to be your warm colors. Your greens, blues, and violets are going to normally be your cool colors. So you have different shades. And one thing I will point out, white, cream, gray, black, brown, they're more to the neutral side, like how I picked it out here. I picked out a brown and a beige color because they're going to go almost with everything that I pick, okay? So how the color wheel works is this, okay? I'm going to go over to a red violet. I want to complement that color. So complementary, which is going to be direct on, will be green yellow. See, here the arrows point here. If I want to do a split complementary, I'm going to go with my red, come down here, and the arrows will point here and here. So split will be yellow, green, and the yellow warm. And that'll give it a nice setup, okay? So if you turn your color wheel over, it talks more about different colors and schemes. Split complementary is one key color plus the colors on either side of it to complement it, which is this right here, okay? The triad is the 3 colors in the triangle, which are going to be 3 primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. Monochromatic is in harmony, a single color combined with its tints, tones, and shades. So if you go again down the green side, that's kind of basically what I'm doing with this pinks, okay? And then analogous complementary is a harmony and contrast. 3 adjacent colors of the color wheel plus the complementary color on the side. So you want to start out here. I'm just going to give one example here. Again, we're going to go back to the purple. So you pick the purple again. If you go from here to here, that's complementary. Side complementary is going to be red, violet, yellow, green, and yellow. But if I want to really make it stick out, you're going to have what's called like a trifecta, like you would have in the horse races, okay? So that's going to create a triangle. So this color, and this color is really going to make your bag pop. Well, I hope that kind of explains a little bit more in color theory. It helps you guys really focus on how to pick out your materials, okay? Again, I'm going to get ready to close this up because this is really supposed to be intended for a short video and really get you pumped and excited for next week. So thank you guys for being here and showing up. That's what matters. Never give up. Remember why you started sewing and what inspired you to sew handbags in the first place. Never give up. Show up and help other people along the way. I put a little bio about myself in here, you know, just so you guys can know a little bit about me because I don't talk a lot about myself. And yeah, that's it, you guys. Hope this will be a wonderful journey for all of us. And remember, trust the process. If you have any questions, concerns, or you can't put your colors together the way you want, or concerned about hardware, shout out into the group. The group is going to always be helpful. Everybody's there. Sammy checks in every day. Really, honestly, Shamballa Bags is one of my favorite designers in the whole world. I'm like obsessed over it. Sorry. I was sewing with other designers, and then when I found Sammy, I was just like, oh my God, I love this woman. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great Mother's Day weekend. Don't forget to give your moms hugs and kisses and wish her happy Mother's Day because without our moms, we wouldn't be here. All right, choo-choo. See you guys later.